All right, y'all. This over a little bit more to the side so that way we got room for the underlying energy just for y'all to see. Now for your underlying energy, you guys have the 5 of Swords. The 5 of Swords is talking about sticking to your guns, pretty much focusing on yourself, focusing on what you need, focusing on your truth, focusing on yourself, make sure your needs are met, making sure that you are being selfish in the right situations. For some of you guys, this is also about sacrifice as well, sabotage as well. Some people could be around you at this time that could be trying to sabotage. So that's why it's very important to focus on the things that you need to get done. For a lot of you guys, be careful about helping others right now, because especially when you don't want to, because it can backfire. You can end up sacrificing some of the things that you want to do, or sacrificing some of the things that you know that you may want done for someone else that may not actually be that great and have no sort of effect or benefit for you. So be very careful in regards to who you're helpful with this week, Virgo, because we all know that you're all very helpful, but you guys may put some of your stuff in the back burner to do that. Now, the reason why the 5 of Swords is coming up is because the Ace of Pentacles is just talking about being very selfish in regards to something new. So really make sure that whatever's happening right now, especially with this new beginning, you are just, this is something that you want to do. You're making sure that you have your end of the bargain here. You're being compensated and you are getting what you want, right? So your current state of being, you guys have the 4 of Swords. The 4 of Swords talk about taking a break, taking a rest, taking a moment to pause, meditation, taking time to reflect, right? This also could be a separation between you and a partner, a time of not talking to each other, or not communicating, not really spending time with each other. And it's mostly because there is a need to take a break to reevaluate yourself, to really, look within yourself, right? To have a Virgo or Hermit sort of situation, right? For yourselves and for the other partner. This has been a time of separation. But I do feel like you guys want to start you guys want something to start, something new. Okay. Y'all want something to start over again. Something that's very exciting, something that gets you guys very passionate, very, eager to get things going. I do feel like there is this feeling of kind of like drab right now, but ultimately I do feel like you guys really want something to kickstart again, something to rekindle its fire, some passion to rekindle itself. Okay, possibly you guys want to reconnect with an ex. Okay, now the only thing that's keeping you from the Ace of Wands right now is justice. So there is a lack of balance right now. Currently, there could be karmic balancing, or there's a need for closure. In order for something to happen, I feel like the closure needs to come about. Justice can also talk about cases like in regards to the law, court, legal system, things in regards to that. So there could be something legally that needs to be wrapped up, and the reason this could be confinement right now. I don't know if y'all locked up, obviously not. Somebody could be separate because of being incarcerated right now, or maybe just being put on lockdown, and the law is standing in the way of you guys starting something new. This is for very few of you guys. This is just kind of something that I'm picking up, but this is for some of you guys. This is like this. The reason why you guys have a break here is because some things are not closed, right? Something is not wrapped up, and this doesn't mean that you guys have to have a breakup. This is a divorce, because I know justice can come up for divorce sometimes, but I'm not getting divorced from you guys. What I am getting though is that there's something that needs to be tied up, wrapped up, shut down, in a way so that way you guys can go ahead and begin something new, karma free. Okay, because this is very karmic when justice comes up, karmic and karmic as well, because the devil is coming up as well with this. So you have a lot of karma situations this week, and the reason why justice is coming up here, justice coming up here for the reason why things are blocking you, right? It's because of the 6 of Swords. So there wasn't really much to move on from. I feel like, or there wasn't any movement, or somebody moved away, perhaps. Even maybe there is a distance between you and another person. That's why there's a separation. Somebody's traveled, somebody's out, doing some stuff legally, or maybe they have some other engagements, but there is some distance here between you and this person, and that's why the closure hasn't been made. There hasn't been any closure. Now, The advice is very interesting. It's the devil. The devil is also indicating here that you may feel trapped, that there's a situation where you may feel like there isn't a lot of power for you to exhibit, but in actuality, you have all the power in the world to get yourself out of a situation. So it's also this is not just only talking about being careful of your old behaviors, old ways of doing something, going back to old ways of, old habits that make you feel good, that soothe you, to kind of pretty much escape from them, but not actually fix your problem. Be very careful, Virgo, of not doing this. This could be cleaning. This could be doing anything. But I feel like finding a solution and figuring out how to get out of your situation will put power back in yourself, to show you that you actually do have a lot of power in your situation, despite despite what circumstances look like right now. Okay, whatever environment you're in right now, you still have that much power. It's hard to see, no doubt, but to exercise your rights, to exercise who you are, exercise what you want to do, that's what's going to show you that you actually have a lot of power than you realize. For some of you guys, this is also to recognize that their situation in regards to this relationship could be possibly toxic. Could be also very karmic, because this is talking about 2 karmic cards. And in the end, you have the Hierophant. So for a lot of you guys, this could be that, ultimately just finding that you do have a lot of control in your situation. I don't think there's anything bad here. There could have been petty arguments that have happened in the past, but I feel like ultimately this is really focusing on yourself, focusing on you, focusing on what you want, right? Because ultimately you don't want to end up being codependent. You don't want to end up going back to this energy where you are not really, you're not really helping yourself by repeating old patterns that never really worked in the first place. But to ultimately find that you are in control of your situation, despite how everything's looking, you do have a lot of power. And I feel like ultimately that's what's going to help you gain closure. Maybe not with someone, personally, right? But also within yourself. No matter what, closure has to happen within you. Forgiveness and acceptance has to happen within you. And I feel like that's what can happen, as long as you can realize that you have the control, you have the power in any situation, despite what it looks like. Now, how you guys feel? The Knight of Wands. Y'all are feeling very, very passionate about certain things today. I feel like you guys really want things to get up and go, move, do some sort of action. I feel like you guys want some fun as well. You guys feel very playful in a sense. I feel like you guys feel very passionate as well. So you guys want this new beginning to start, but you need this closure, right? You need something to wrap up. You need some sort of correction. For a lot of you guys, this could be like there's an imbalance here because there's a distance. And you want that to kind of fix itself so you can truly enjoy this. I feel like you guys really want to have some fun. Now, for a lot of you guys, this could be dealing with a Sagittarius, Aries, Leo. And this is like you guys are dealing with somebody that you feel is very exciting, very passionate, and very sexy, but they just have a little tiny issue being very, very reliable, especially when things get serious. But ultimately, I feel like you guys are having a lot of fun, or you guys feel like you want to have fun. This urge to have fun is very, very, very clear. However, especially even you guys may feel like, and emotionally you may be free, or maybe you want this feeling to kind of show that you're free, but the circumstances are showing you that you feel like you're kind of trapped. And especially with your hopes and fears, right? With this 8 of Swords, you feel trapped. You're not really sure that, of a way out of your situation, but you have to take off the blindfold to really notice that. And I feel like that blindfold has a lot to do with the doubts, the fears, the circumstances around you. What everything looks like is just an illusion for what could truly happen. It's going to take a little bit of time, maybe, right? It's going to click for you eventually, but the 8 of Swords, feeling trapped and not being able to do anything. And it may not, this situation, this energy here is something that you may not want, right? So getting out of your situation by breaking old habits, by stating boundaries, putting up new boundaries, recognizing a toxic situation, refraining from going back to codependent ways, while the 5 of Swords is there, focusing on you and making sure that you're getting what you deserve, standing up for yourself, possibly even making sacrifices for yourself that may not feel good at the time, but it was a necessary process. You understand what I'm saying? Now, for your outcome, you guys have the Hierophant. Now, this is also talking about commitment of some sort, getting in a routine or something. I feel like, to be absolutely honest, the devil is about breaking certain habits to be able to build you up, to show that you have power in every situation. You don't have to always refrain back to old ways or old addictions to make you feel somewhat, not stuck, okay? So, With the Hierophant here, I feel like this is also being able to commit fully to a certain situation, to commit to another partner, to commit to this partner that you're currently with, to commit to yourself, to revamp routines and things like that. Now let me go ahead and quickly clarify. Why is the Hierophant in the outcome? The Six of Cups. You guys want to commit to somebody that's from the past. You guys want to commit to somebody that you already have a connection with, someone that is a soulmate. I feel like you want to recommit to the person that you're with, and that will recommit to yourself in a way. But you have to find the recommitment to yourself, and it has a lot to do with the closure that needs to come out of this. And the closure comes from you tackling situations that you feel you don't have a lot of power in, recognizing how much power you actually have, and then making whatever you want happen. Because the Ace of Wands is there. This is your goal. You can get it. It's all about making sure that you know what your power is. Okay. Now let me go ahead and pull your romance angels for the week. Okay. Ooh. All right. So your romance angels for this week is calling your soulmate. Wow, look at that. Your prayers and affirmations, and visualizations helps bring you together. That's pretty much what they're trying to say. Oh my goodness, Virgo. Hey, and look at that, recommitting to a soulmate. Say Ace of Wands, bringing somebody back from the past, or not bringing somebody back up from the past, but rekindling a fire, an old flame from the past. Okay, it's also bringing in passion and intimacy. So I feel like for a lot of you guys want to be more intimate with this person. The distance could be the problem, but there isn't. Just because distance is there, it doesn't mean that there isn't a way to be able to bridge the gap between you and this other person virtually. So you guys may have to connect to the internet. You have a lot of power here. It may not be physical, but you can do something. You don't ever have to be doing something else, okay? The balance, you have to figure out what balance needs to be had here, what needs to be fixed, what needs to be corrected. And that correction has a lot to do with finding the power within the distance the distance that you have between someone else, okay? There may be distance right now, but you have a lot of control in your situation to make things happen. Whether this is to be more passionate, to be more sexual, to be more intimate with your partner, anything. Just because this distance here doesn't stop you from being able to execute the things that you want to execute. And if you could find what needs to be corrected in that situation to be able to be more dynamic in your love life, to find that you can be more dynamic in your relationships, I feel like that you'll be able to feel that you are compensating for yourself, right? You are doing something for yourself. You are feeling like you're doing the best that you can. Okay. Now let me go ahead and pull your wisdom of the oracle for the week. Virgo, your reading is pretty good. Despite the craziness that's coming up, I know, right? You have the Eight of Swords, Devil, the Six of Swords. They're not necessarily bad cards. So that's why this whole reading isn't actually that bad. I just feel like right now it's regaining your ability to say, hey, you know what? I can do a lot of things. And it may look daunting at first, but you'll realize and see that with your repetitive movements, right? With the Hierophant is a constant cycle, right? It's a routine. It's constant, right? And it's very stable. It's very, like, as long as you commit to always trying new things, as always commit to, to a certain way of breaking certain boundaries or certain mindsets, you guys will be able to fail and find that you guys are more powerful than you think. Wow, breathe. So it's very similar to the Four of Swords. So this time of rest, the separation that you may have currently, is really talking about being able to take a break, take a rest, really, really reflect on things, right? Take a moment to really breathe, really. It's very similar to the Five of Swords. take a moment. If things get a little bit overwhelming, take a moment and see things for what they truly are. The Eight of Swords is why I feel like the breathing card is coming up. Because with the Eight of Swords, you get overwhelmed, you get constantly bombarded by thoughts, you don't really see that there's a way for you to get out of a certain situation. Breathe, release the blindfold, look at the situation. You'll be able to find that there's things you can do despite the environment around you, despite what's encasing your surroundings.